all through the late night. Damn, I miss Kid Cudi, dude. It's been forever since he's made some good music. What's up, my dude? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about no sound in MX Simulator. And I know at a first glance that might seem like some sort of challenge or some shit, but it's actually not at all. I've always played MX Simulator with no sound, basically since day one. And I know some of you guys out there might be saying, Spencer, it's a simulator. It's meant to be played with the sound on. Very clever, dude. I know it might be crazy for you to have a YouTuber out here that's actually voicing his opinion and not just staying neutral on every single thing to try to keep all of his subscribers. I know that might be crazy for you, but that's how Spencer Turley is. Like, I'm going to say what I want to say about something. I'm going to say what I mean about something. And if you don't like that, go somewhere else, dude. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to say what I mean. Whether you disagree with that or agree with that or hate me or love me, I don't care. This is who I am, dude. Most of these kids out here aren't even acting like their self. It's pitiful. It's sad. They're too scared. They need to grow a pair and say what they mean about something. It's crazy out here, dude. But, so I wanted to talk about some of the sort of positives and negatives to playing MX Simulator with absolutely no sound. And basically, what it's coming from is like, I've always played with no sound. So, I mean, I do my 125 wide open videos with the sound on, just simply because I don't ride the 125 enough to really know exactly which gears are where. Like, I mean, I know where they are, kind of, sort of, but I do that so that I make sure I'm actually wide open and I'm not just thinking I'm wide open in my head. That's basically the only reason I play on the 125 wide open videos with the sound on. But as far as like pro racing or riding on a 450 or anything like that, that's all with absolutely zero bike sounds. So yeah, I know that might seem like crazy to some people because like they rely on that to know when to shift and stuff like that. But I think a really big positive to playing with the sound off is you learn the feeling of the bike more. I feel like it's almost like you turn into a bat in a sense, you know, but it's kind of the opposite. You know, bats can hear really good or whatever, but they can't see. Well, think about not being able to hear at all, and it's going to make you be able to feel better. Your senses of everything else definitely improves when you. It's kind of a weird way to explain that, but it's the truth. Like, if you completely eliminate the sound, then you have to rely on the feeling of it, the feeling of shifting. There's actually a feeling to it. You know, you're not just relying on the sound portion. So that makes a really big difference because now you're actually learning. Your brain is starting to memorize an exact time between, like, the first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and fifth gear, and the way the bike feels when you're doing that, and the way the traction feels on the bike when you're doing that, versus like you're just kind of listening to it, you know? So believe it or not, it does this magical thing where when you're playing with no sound, you just learn the bike more. I feel like you just learn the feeling of it, and it takes a long time. You know, it takes a long time to just learn the feeling and not have to listen to it to be able to ride the bike fast like that and just kind of know when to shift and stuff. But it makes you more in tune with the bike. I feel like it makes you more one with the bike. Now, in real life, I don't put, you know, earbuds in or anything like that. I definitely listen to the bike sounds in real life. But with MX Simulator, another big aspect is I always listen to music whenever I'm like really racing or doing anything like that. I try to listen to music, stuff like Put In Work, Put 'Em in the Dirt, and stuff like Mad City, you know, stuff like that. That kind of music that gets you going, Strobe, stuff like that. That's kind of the music that I listen to whenever I'm playing this game, and I feel like it amps you up more when you're listening to music playing MX Simulator versus just like no music, especially like pro racing or anything like that. I mean, you don't want to be left to just like no sound or hearing the bikes. Or for me, it's just I've just always done that. I've always played MX Simulator with music playing and not being able to hear the bike. So Yeah, that's just kind of what I've always done, and it's worked for me. But another big positive to, well, it's kind of how you look at it here. I mean, I look at it as a positive, not being able to hear other people's bikes because it doesn't get in my head. You know, I don't worry about it. I'm not like, oh shit, I hear that dude's bike right behind me. He's about to pass me. It's not really like that. I focus. You can focus more on yourself when you don't have any audio of the bikes. Now you might look at that as a negative, as like, well, you can't hear when they're getting close to running up on the inside of you, and I can see that point for sure. But I don't know how accurate that really is when, especially in like a supercross where you're hearing all the bikes all over the track in a pro race. I don't know how accurate that really can be, where you can really judge off of that, if you know what I'm saying. So for me, it's just easier to play with no sound. But yeah, I mean, I recommend you guys doing that. It's pretty interesting trying to learn the bike in that sense. And whenever I go to like a different bike, and play with no sound that I'm not really used to, like let's just say a 350 KTM, then even though I don't really know that bike, it almost carries over in a sense, because you know the feeling of the power in the gears. You know the feeling of when that bike's not getting maximum traction, maximum pull in the gear. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you just learn the feeling of the bike. Most people don't even know that feeling on the bike. So that's kind of a crazy thing, that an extra layer of the game that you really learn when you play with no sound. So that's just something I've always done. I mean, I can go in there and play with sound on. It's not like I can't. I basically just would rather listen to some kind of music or something, because when you're playing MX Simulator, the amount that you have to play to get good, you're going to start resorting to some things like music and something to, keep you going on it. So I guess that's what it stems from, is that you're playing it so much that you're needing something extra to kind of give you a little bit of extra motivation and stuff like that to keep you playing. But yeah, I just wanted to go in here and make a video me talking about this. If you play with sound on, that's cool. I don't have a single problem with that. This is not something like I think they should totally take the sound out. That's not what this is at all. I think sound should be completely allowed. No sound, sound on, whatever. So yeah, but either way, dudes, I appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.